Good afternoon, everybody. It's meteorologist Anthony J. I'm here updating everyone on America's Weather Streaming channel. As you know, we have the threat for severe weather. We have a tornado watch that's still in effect across areas of eastern Ohio. And I'm going to get into that in a minute here. This tornado watch, which I'm going to show you in a second here, still in effect as I put it on Facebook. So if you saw that, I posted the graphic. You can see it's only if you can see it here, it's only a small portion of southeastern Ohio that is currently under the tornado watch. So let me show you exactly where that is here. Well, first the radar. This is the radar right now. You can see all the echoes. We've had a lot of rain. We've had over 2 inches of rain in a lot of parts of Ohio. There's still a flood watch in effect across the entire state. And I'm going to show you that coming up here. There you see it. We've got flood watches up, Columbus, Ohio, all across northern and central Ohio. It's the entire state that is under it. Here, I'll show you it here. So we've had the heavy rain, and that's basically what we have been dealing with. Also, we've had strong winds, but not severe thunderstorms. So in spite of the fact that the Storm Prediction Center, like last week, issued these, I should say, issued these severe outlooks, where we have an enhanced risk today over eastern Ohio. We have yet to see hardly any severe reports. Now, it doesn't mean we're out of the woods because the tornado watch goes for at least until 9 o'clock, and I'll verify that for you here. And actually, I'll give you even a better perspective on this. Watch this. The tornado watch that is up for Ohio. Oh, actually, let me bring it up on the Facebook page here. In case you missed it, they issued this watch about 2 o'clock this afternoon. And if you're under that watch, that means that there is a possibility of you seeing still potential tornadoes as we go through the afternoon into the early part of tonight. And I'm going to bring that up over here. Oh, here we go. Let's see where we have that. This is on Twitter. All right, let me show you this here. And let's see. We've actually seen more activity south and east of us than we've had over us today. So this storm hasn't exactly behaved itself, but there it is. There's the tornado watch. Let me make sure I have it up for you there. Yeah, this is the tornado watch that's in effect. So right now, if you're in any of those areas, if you're in, around Athens and Cambridge, west of Wheeling, you still have that tornado watch going until 9 o'clock. So that means you got to stay alert and on top of things as far as we're staying on top of the weather for you and we're relaying it to you. So I want to tell you that right now. And let me bring up some of the radars up here again, because we are seeing, as you can tell, and we've had lots of green, but you notice there's not a whole lot of anything else. Now the satellite picture, which is also going to tell the tale of the tape of what's going on with this. What is happening essentially, we're still in this kind of weather pattern we've been in since the winter, where we have the storm track coming up from Mexico across the Ohio Valley and up into New England. And what that is doing is that, and that's because of the El Nino. Remember the El Nino? We had a strong El Nino during the winter season. It's weakening, but there's this lag between when the time the El Nino ends and the time that the weather patterns start to change. So you can see here on the satellite, that is the storm system there. So it's a large storm system, but it's rather strung out. So that it tells us that it's not especially strong or as strong as maybe it could have been. So you see a lot of breaks in here. But the low pressure is a low pressure area that's forming right now over Ohio. So we've been worried about that because a lot of times when you see the low pressures form, you get tornadoes underneath them. But in the meantime, let me switch the source over here and show you a more zoomed in look at the radar and what's really going on. Now, we've had these waves of rain that have been coming through this morning and causing us lots of problems as far as some localized flooding. And again, that has been majority of what we have seen here. So you look at this over here, and you'll see that we continue with these flood watches across the area. So what that is going to do for us, you see Columbus, you're right under the flood watch. I mentioned this, but I want to mention it again. And the yellow is the tornado watch. So I'm just going back and forth between sources here. And I want to show you what is going on closer to your neighborhood. And I'm going to bring up this single site radar, and that's going to show it better. And what is happening is there's actually not a whole lot. Look at this radar here. I'm zoomed in right over Columbus. And you'll notice what's going on in Columbus is not a whole lot's going on. There's probably some sunny breaks out there. You see this stuff off to the southeast. I'm going to bring that up a little closer for you. Coming up here. So this is good news. It looks like it's not going to be as bad as it looked like the forecasts were saying. Now, as far as what is going on here, let me just reload this here. And as what you'll notice is that we have flash flood alerts across areas of West Virginia. And so the rain axis has really kind of shifted over to the east. So in a nutshell, we are lucking out. Now, you notice too, since we have the breaks, that's not always a good thing, because that means if the sun is out, we can have more destabilization in the atmosphere. And that actually helps fuel the storms. Now, let me show you what we got here as far as what's going on across areas of different parts of the state. And I'm going to bring you up here. Let's see. All right, let me bring up this National Weather Service radar. And we're having that here. Yeah, the National Weather Service radars are going to show where some of the heaviest rain is happening right now as I speak. And let's see. I'll close some of these for you. I'm going to zoom in over southeastern Ohio, western Pennsylvania, and show you where some of this heaviest rain is happening right now as I speak. And you'll see, to orient you, it's hard to tell where he is at first, but this is the area right near Parkersburg, West Virginia. I'm going to bring that up for you. There we go. And what you have here, folks, is some very, very heavy rain that's coming down. Okay, so what's going on? There you see it. So right now, across Parkersburg and areas down to, this is Charleston, West Virginia. So obviously this is southeast of our area. If you look close though, and then these green boxes here, those are flash flood warnings. Now look at over our area though, and you don't really see a whole lot going on. And like I said, we are happy to report that. Now, let me go into somewhere farther southwest. Now, this is southern Ohio. This is the Columbus. You see some, it goes down to your south. It's about 7:15 local time in Columbus, getting close to sunset. So we really had no major problems aside from that heavy rain. And now that it's getting close to sunset, the window is closing as far as seeing more in the way of severe weather. So I'm very happy to report that. And you see Cincinnati over here. You guys are just getting some light showers. You had heavy rain overnight and this morning. But what you don't see, and I don't see any strong cells, those discrete cells that we see when we talk about tornadoes and or any kind of big bow echoes. We haven't seen any of it. And this has been kind of the big surprise, because remember, the Storm Prediction Center was giving us this enhanced risk today, and that has not panned out. So I'm happy to report that. Now, I'm not saying we're out of the woods yet across our area, but what I am saying is that it's not going to be as bad as it looked like it was going to be. Now, let me show you a future tracker forecast here to show you where we're going to be headed over the next several hours. And that's courtesy of our friends down there at Pivotal Weather. And they have all these great weather graphics that we use. And just sharing all these screens here, all these tabs. I think this is it here. There we go. And now what do we got here? Okay, now this is the Futurecast. It's an animation showing the echoes here. Now, I can see the time here. It's in Greenwich time, but I'll walk you through it here. Okay, the animation will restart right about here. This is at 5 o'clock. Here's the low. It's over central Ohio. But look, It's not even showing that many more echoes overhead. So, and much of the state, we are on the west side of the low. So you don't get severe storms on the west side of the storms. They're going to be all over here. And what has happened is we've seen that area of thunderstorms set up to our east primarily. We had the heavy rain, but the thunder action has been all down in here. West Virginia, down to the Carolinas, they had tornado warnings in North Carolina. They had them in Florida. And that is where they have been. So I'm going to keep you guys all abreast on this. The good news is it looks like we're definitely not going to see as much severe weather as we looked like could have been. And that's because the storm system has taken a path more to the north and east. And we had that rain this morning. So that rain and those clouds, which made it, miserable this morning, actually helped us because we didn't get that solar insolation to heat the ground and give us the buoyancy or lift up in the atmosphere in order to give us problems as far as tornadoes. So, well, like I said, we're not out of the woods with this. It is looking increasingly likely, though, that it is not going to be as big a deal as it could have been. So that's good news. And let me walk you just through some of the forecast here and where we're headed over the next several hours and into tomorrow. And I'm going to bring up our forecast model, the GFS or American model, we call this. Now what's going to happen, I just want to show you this graphic really quickly here. And this is like starting now. So as I move this screen over here, I'm going to there we go. Share. Okay. This is the models for, this is the American model. This is for 7 o'clock. This is right now. And the important thing to look at this is that the storm, you see the low, it's over Youngstown. So it's just about over you right now. But again, when we get severe weather, the severe weather is usually on the right side, the south and east side of the low. So that means all the severe weather is going to be there, and that's where it has been. So as I advance this forecast graphic, I'm going to move it 3 hours later. And there you see the low is over Cleveland, and that is at 10 o'clock. And then now at 1 o'clock in the morning, Friday morning, the low is near Buffalo. So it's really looking to me, honestly, folks, that our severe weather threat is largely dwindling at this point. And that is really going to be good news. Now, as we go through what's going to happen beyond, tonight and into tomorrow, Friday, we're going to see that low is going to, that's a strong low pressure there. It's over Canada by midday tomorrow. So we're going to have strong winds or wind advisories up if you're in Toledo and really across the entire state. And they'll probably issue wind advisories across all of Ohio tomorrow. So it's going to be a windy day, and we could have wind gusts 45, 50 miles per hour, 55 miles per hour. I wouldn't rule that out with that tight gradient over there. And you see the low pressure is going to be lifting out. So the bottom line is that looks like we may be mostly spared actually from this storm as far as seeing any of the worst conditions with hail, tornadoes, and things of that nature. Now I'm looking at the radar now. There's some cells that are get a little bit nasty down right on a river. That's east of Cincinnati, headed towards looks like Marysville. So if you're in Marysville, you're going to be hearing some thunder, some locally heavy downpours. I can't rule out perhaps a little bit of small hail for you there in Marysville, but none of these are looking like they're headed in the tornadic kind of direction. There are no warnings up for you. So the bottom line is, again, it looks like our severe weather threat may in fact be dwindling. And we will continue with the tornado watch. I want to reiterate that. There is still a tornado watch for southeastern Ohio. And again, that goes till 9 o'clock. So we don't even have 2 hours left of that tornado watch. So that means that once that's over, the threat is going to be completely over with. I'll show you that one more time here on my tornado watch. There we go. So I just want to remind you guys again, if you're in this area, if you're west of Parkersburg, if you're in Cambridge, if you're down towards the southern part of Ohio, if you're in Marysville, there could be some rougher storms, and they're moving toward you now. But the time is growing ever shorter, so it looks like our tornado threat is diminishing. Our severe threat seems to be diminishing. So keep that in mind. In other words, I wouldn't worry too much going into tonight across anywhere outside of this watch. If you're in Columbus, if you're in Cincinnati, if you're in Mansfield and so on, you'll have some rain, you'll have some thunder. You will not see tornadoes. I can guarantee you won't see them that far north. I'll watch you down there in southern and central, or I should say southern and southeastern Ohio. So keep that in mind for tonight. And I will be issuing another update coming up very shortly. So keep an eye. I'll be posting stuff on Facebook, and I'll be doing another live coming up next. If anything comes up as far as warnings, you'll hear about it here first. Thanks, guys.